10 players define the 2026 World Cup. One broke every record. One won the Golden Boot at 40 years old. One carried a nation to its first semi-final in 88 years. And one won the Golden Ball without scoring a single goal. These are the 10 best players of the 2026 World Cup, ranked. Number 10. Mikel Merino, Spain, 8 minutes of World Cup football. 2 goals, 2 countries eliminated. Merino came off the bench in the 85th minute against Portugal and scored in the 91st. 4 days later, he came off the bench in the 86th minute against Belgium and scored in the 88th, 1 minute and 57 seconds on the pitch. He also did it to Germany at Euro 2024 in the 119th minute. 3 consecutive knockout eliminations across 2 major tournaments as a substitute in the final minutes. Nobody in the history of major international football has produced that sequence. Nobody. He barely played. He changed everything. Number 9. Ferran Torres, Spain, 0 goals in 7 matches at this tournament. Then the 106th minute of the World Cup final. 1 touch, 1 finish. Spain 1-0. World champions. Torres had been quiet for the entire tournament. Yamal and Olmo were Spain's attacking story. Rodri was their midfield story. Torres existed on the periphery, coming off the bench, making little impact. Then he made the only impact that mattered. The man who scored 0 goals in 7 matches scored the goal that won the World Cup. That will be in every football documentary made about this tournament for the next 50 years. Number 8. Lamine Yamal, Spain, 18 years old, 27 shots across 8 matches, 3rd in the entire tournament. 52 completed dribbles, the most of any player at the 2026 World Cup. The most exciting attacker to watch at this tournament by distance. The argument against him for a higher ranking is that his end product underdelivered. 1 goal across 8 appearances in a tournament where Spain needed him at his absolute best against France and Argentina and got slightly less than that. But he is 18. He is already one of the 5 most frightening players on the planet. And he just won a World Cup. The ceiling on what this player will become is genuinely beyond calculation. Number 7. Jude Bellingham, England, 7 goals, the most by an England player at a single World Cup edition in history, passing Gary Lineker's 6 from 1986. An XG of 5.89 across the tournament, 3rd highest of any player. He scored both goals that eliminated Norway in the quarterfinal and scored the 6th in the 6-4 bronze medal win over France. The argument for a higher ranking: no England player has ever produced a tournament like this. The argument against: England went out in the semi-final to a Messi-inspired Argentina comeback, and Bellingham was never the player who made the decisive difference in the biggest moments. 7 goals and a bronze medal is brilliant. 7 goals in a final would have been historic. Number 6. Erling Haaland, Norway, 7 goals in his debut World Cup. A conversion rate of 39%, the best of any player with 15 or more shots since Gary Lineker in 1986. He scored a brace to eliminate Brazil in the round of 16, sending Norway to their first World Cup quarterfinal since 1938. Norway have scored 40% of their international goals since 2022 with Haaland on the pitch. Remove him and Norway do not qualify, do not win their group, do not eliminate Brazil. He carried a country on his back at his first World Cup and almost carried them to the last 4. The world has not seen a debut World Cup like this since 1974. Number 5. Lionel Messi, Argentina, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 total goal contributions, the most of any player at the tournament. 21 career World Cup goals, an all-time record. 10 career World Cup assists. 2 more than any player since 1966. Scored in 9 consecutive World Cup matches. The longest scoring streak in tournament history. At 39 years old, the performance against Egypt produced a stat that stops conversation dead. The last 2 players to score, complete 5 or more dribbles, and create 5 or more open play chances in a single World Cup match were Diego Maradona in 1986 and Messi in 2026. He is not ranked higher because he was invisible in the final. 0 shots on target across 120 minutes against Spain. But everything before the final was the greatest individual tournament a 39-year-old has ever produced in the history of sport. Subscribe now. Number 4. Kylian Mbappe. France, 10 goals, 4 assists, 14 combined goal contributions, the most in a single World Cup edition in 60 years. He became the all-time leading World Cup scorer with 22 goals, passing Messi. The 4th player ever to score 10 or more goals at a single World Cup. The first since West Germany's Gerd Müller in 1970. He was invisible in the semi-final against Spain. 15 touches in the first half, 0 shots on target across 90 minutes. That one performance is why he is 4th and not higher. 8 goals in 6 matches coming in, then nothing when the tournament was on the line. The record is his. The final was not. Number 3. Bukayo Saka, England. A hat-trick in the bronze medal match against France to finish with 6 goals and 2 assists across the tournament. Only the 4th man in history to score a World Cup hat-trick for England. His 6 goals came in a tournament where England reached the semi-final before losing to Argentina in the 85th minute. Every time England needed a goal from someone who wasn't their captain or their number 10, Saka produced it. Quiet, consistent, relentless. And when the stage was biggest, against France, needing goals after going 4-0 up and nearly blowing it, Saka scored from the penalty spot to complete his hat-trick and win the match. England's most reliable player at their best World Cup in 60 years. Number 2. Rodri, Spain. 811 touches across 8 matches, the most of any player at the 2026 World Cup. 26 tackles, also the most. The only player at the 2026 World Cup to lead all 5 major statistical categories simultaneously. In the final, he completed 101 of 105 passes, won 80% of his duels. Spain conceded 1 goal across 8 matches. 1. The Golden Ball winner, the man who returned from a ruptured ACL to become the best player at the biggest tournament on earth. Pep Guardiola predicted before the tournament that Rodri would return to his absolute peak at this World Cup. He was right. Rodri did not score a single goal in the entire tournament. He did not need to. He controlled every match Spain played from the first pass to the last. The 11th man in history to win the World Cup, the Champions League, and the Ballon d'Or. Number 1. Lionel Messi, Argentina. Yes, both 5 and 1, because what Messi produced across the first 6 matches before the final deserves its own entry separated from the final itself. 12 goal contributions, 21 career World Cup goals, 10 career assists, a record, scored in 9 consecutive World Cup matches, a hat-trick at 39. The Maradona comparison that stopped every football writer in their tracks. And then the final, where he was completely erased by the Spain system. 0 shots on target across 120 minutes, walking off without the trophy for the 2nd time. Messi was the best attacking player at this World Cup and the most neutralized player in the final. Rodri won the Golden Ball and deserved it. Messi broke every record and deserved that too. Both things are true. The 2026 World Cup will be remembered as the tournament where the greatest player alive gave everything he had and came up against a system that was simply better than him on the one night it mattered most. He leaves with 21 World Cup goals, 10 assists, and 34 appearances. No other player in history has those numbers. No other player ever will.